Hello everyone, I've just got back from Manga and I've actually been caught in a storm, so I thought that now was the perfect time to do a video because I'm back in the rain from a beautiful sunny time away, and I wanted to sort of showcase how I balance running the business whilst also going on holiday and having a nice time with it as well. So when I go on holiday, I tend to block out 2-hour blocks in the morning. So I wake up a little bit earlier and I normally try and find a nice place to sit. So here, because we were in a house, I could sit outside on the balcony, look over. It was always really nice and sunny in the morning. And then I block out 2 hours, make sure that I caught up on any emails that I had from the day before, any tasks that were outstanding that I needed to crack on with. It's important to note that prior to going away, I always let my clients know that I am going, and give them obviously my number so that if there's anything that's urgent, I can jump on, because I've always got my phone with me, and although I'll get emails through, I will check them, but sometimes it will be more of like a glance, whereas if they WhatsApp me or call me, I know that something's urgent and that I need to get onto it straight away. So they know that I'm away. However, I do respond to emails, like I say, in the mornings, and I crack on with some tasks in the mornings just to make sure that I don't come back and it's already been, if I'm away for 5 days, then I have 5 days of work to catch up on. Obviously, if you're away for 2 weeks, then you'll have 2 weeks of work to catch up on. And if clients are on monthly retainers, you don't really want to be waiting 2 weeks before delivering a piece of work for them. So I just make sure that those little work blocks, I can check things off and keep up constant communication with my clients as needed. I think that when people create businesses, and when I created mine, when I started mine, it was about creating a life in the future that would allow me financial freedom as well as time freedom to spend time with my family, to be able to travel. And this trip was a bit of a reminder for that, because I managed, like I say, to go away, to have a nice time, but to also be able to work a very small amount of time. However, the business still ran absolutely fine. I was still getting paid, but I was able to relax. I was able to play lots of sport, as you will see, and just generally have a little bit of a holiday. So this year, I've actually been away 5 times for leisure. But once again, I've managed to make sure that the business can continually run anytime that I'm away. Travel always gives me a bit of a reset. If I change my environment, it always sparks new ideas and gives me a little bit of fresh energy. As you guys know, a lot of the time I am in my office and just surrounded by the same 4 walls every time. So it's nice to get a little bit away, to give my mind a little bit of space as well, so it's not just focused on laptop work, and I can give my mind the freedom to think creatively about where I want the business to go, what I want from life even. Obviously that sounds a little bit deep, so apologies, but it's not about switching off completely, because for me that doesn't really work. I like to still keep my mind active, but like I say, when it's not distracted by just emails and communication, it gives it that freedom to be able to, like I say, think a little bit more openly. So as I said at the start, each morning I set aside 2 focused hours for client work and emails. Once that's done, I can close the laptop knowing that any important stuff is covered. By blocking out that time early, it means that the rest of the day is mine. And that's the kind of balance that I'm always working towards as a business owner, because right now I don't have that balance when I'm at home, because I'm very much in the business rather than on the business. Well, I'm both, to be fair. But it's nice to see that what the future could look like every single day, essentially, because I'm not tied to any specific location. If I wanted to move abroad, I could. If I wanted to spend longer periods of time abroad, I can. And it's just a bit of a reminder that this is possible and this is what I'm working towards. Good morning, everyone. We are on our way to the gym. It's day 3, I think. First day was travel day. Yesterday was a full day. So day 3, technically, day 2 of full day. But yeah, we're on our way to the gym now, and we're going to do, I think, a bit of a leg workout first and then a Pilates class afterwards. So we'll see what that's about. I'm still just as bad at Pilates as I always was, even though I've been doing it more. So we'll see what it's like in a different country. But it's good because I think in terms of doing sports or activities, obviously you would have seen yesterday that we played some padel. It just keeps a little bit of structure. I think that, like, if you go away, and don't get me wrong, there's some holidays that I do this, but if you go away and basically don't do anything and just lay by the pool all day, then structure goes out the window, and when you go back, you hit the ground pretty hard. Whereas if you can still keep up some activity, doesn't need to be a lot, then it just keeps you on the straight and narrow a little bit. So yeah, I mean,
bit of a blabby intro to just me going to the gym, but that's fine. I will show you, I think the classes are quite small, so if there's just the three of us, then I will show some bits of that rather than a full class, but if there's any more, then obviously I won't be able to film there, but I will see you when we get to the gym. So just finished up at the gym. We didn't end up doing Pilates in the end because apparently it was full, but we walked past it and there was about 4 people doing Pilates, so I'm guessing they keep it small numbers, but if we'd have booked before, then there would have been 3 of us and blah blah blah. Anyway, it was a really good gym session. Like you saw, we did mainly legs. We did a 10-minute incline walk to start with and then did legs after that. So I'm just about to have coffee. I'll get in focus. Just about to have some coffee, waiting for that, and then we'll get on with the rest of the day, which I will take you along for. So I will see you later on.
It's important to note that this holiday, because it was in Manga and it's in like a resort, which is very much sport heavy, obviously it looks like all I'm doing is working and training. However, it wasn't just that. I enjoyed good food. I enjoyed a lot of alcohol. I did continue learning newer sports that I've been introduced to. So padel being one of them, but also getting a little bit more practice in with tennis because it's not my strong suit, but I do really enjoy it. And especially in a place like this, how can you not? Also, one of my favorite parts of traveling is just exploring new places and seeing what I like, what I don't like, where I want to come back to, where I don't want to come back to. So I always like to make sure that my day is a bit of a mixture of exercise, work, but mainly all the good stuff. So my biggest lesson coming back from this trip is that balance is everything. And you've heard that a million times before. I'm definitely not the first person to say this to you. However, it is truly everything. I think, what's the point in building a life where you do create all this money and that's amazing, but what's the point if you can't share it with people, if you can't spend time with people, if you're not actively engaged with people? If I'm out to dinner with someone, if I'm coffee or on a walk, I'm not on my phone. That is 100% a thing that I am not about. I do not want to be sat on my phone while I'm trying to engage with someone else because I'm not going to be focused. I'm not going to be thinking about what they're saying and responding to them accurately because I'm just going to be focused on what's on my phone. Also as well, the stress plays a part. I think that's so interesting that if you turned your phone off and you went outside, or you just turned your phone off for like a week, right, and you didn't go on your computer, there'd probably be no stress. Like, all of our stress is built from this technology. And I always think about, back in the day when people didn't have laptops and emails and mobile phones and stuff like that, like how different it must have been. I'm not saying that there weren't any stresses, but just how bloody different it would have been. But also when I'm on holiday as well, I sort of follow the mantra in terms of not being on my phone all the time, because what's the point? Because I can just be on my phone at home all the time rather than being surrounded by sunshine and the scenery and food and other people. So I just like to make sure that I'm present whenever I go abroad. The overall purpose of me filming this vlog was just to show you that you are able to create balance even in the early stages of building a business. Yes, when you're at home, you need to be a little bit more on it. You need to be spending hours and hours a day on it, but that doesn't mean that one day you can't be a bit more flexible and then the next day be a bit more flexible. If you want to book a flight and go away for a couple of weeks because you're going to go away and do a little bit of work, then that's great. I actually had a conversation as well when I was away, because when I used to work for someone, if I was told to do some work while I was away, I would have been pissed off. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would have been a little bit fuming that I would have to get on my laptop on my annual leave. Whereas now I don't see anything as annual leave, and because it's building towards something for me, it's something that I actually want to do. So it's not really a chore. It's not like I have to do. It's like I want to do it. No one's telling me that I have to go on my computer. No one's telling me that I have to do a couple of hours of work. I want to because I'm building something for myself. And I think that that's also something to note, that it's not like this grind, hustle, working 24/7, go on holiday, work. It's go and have a good time. But if you're working towards something, you'll want to do it anyway. So as always, apologies for the rambling, but I hope you have enjoyed the vlog. I hope you've enjoyed seeing some different scenery that's not just where I live or my office, and I will catch you in the next one.